For 2 solid years, passive income was my complete obsession. I watched the videos, bought the courses, read the books. I tried so many things. And what did it end up getting me? More broke and less money. In many ways, I felt trapped by the one thing I was trying to gain for my freedom. It wasn't until I realized I was believing 7 huge lies that everything started to click. I finally saw through the hype and started building something real. And today, I'm going to share those 7 lies with you. Because once you see them, you can avoid the traps I fell into and start building a real foundation for your own financial freedom. The first lie is that passive income is actually passive. It's the dream that they sell you, right? You hear me say that my goal is to make more money in my sleep than my wife can spend while she's awake. That you set something up once and the cash just rolls in forever while you sip margaritas on the beach. And that's not just misleading, it's a dangerous fantasy. The truth is, passive income is really front loaded work. It means that you would invest a lot of time or a lot of money up front, and the payoff comes way later. Think of someone writing a book. They're probably going to write that book for months, if not years, before it even gets published. Then, once it's published, they'd have to go and market and advertise and go into different shows to get everything set up. So that way they can start getting in the reviews and then they can go viral if they play their cards right. Well, that takes a lot of front loaded work. And a lot of the times we're not comfortable making that much of an investment without knowing that it's a guaranteed return. And that's why passive income ends up being so difficult for a lot of people because it is a lot of work up front. Even if we're talking about getting real estate, you have to save up the money to have the down payment. You then have to find tenants and landlords and leases and figure out how to repair things. Even if we're talking about investing, which we all say is passive income, in many ways, you have to do the research to understand the market and train yourself mentally so that you're not an emotional investor who falls into some of these traps. It's not really passive, it's deferred income. You do the work now to hopefully get paid later. The passive part only kicks in after you've built the system. And even then, it's never truly hands off. Getting this simple mindset shift is the first real step off the hamster wheel. And interestingly enough, that brings us to the second lie that you need a boatload of money to even get started. This is the limiting belief that keeps so many people on the sidelines thinking, well, that's just not for me. I don't have $600,000 to invest just to replace my salary. I know we've all heard that phrase that it takes money to make money, but it's not true that we have to be wealthy to make the money. The truth is, you could always start with what you have right now. Honestly, the hardest part is just getting started. You can build passive income streams with very little money. High yield savings account are a very simple way to get your money working for you. You can start investing in dividend stocks or income ETFs with just a few bucks because they sell fractional shares. Or you could look into real estate investment trust or REITs, which let you invest in big properties without the landlord headache, sometimes for as little as 10 bucks. The key isn't having a huge pile of cash. It's building the habit of consistently investing what you can, no matter how small. I love the idea of starting with as little as $20 from a paycheck, $50 from a paycheck, but you consistently pay yourself first before you ever even dream of paying any other expenses. And then you will see how it does compound. That as small as $50 a paycheck ends up being $1,000 in as little as 10 months. And before we say that that's nothing to really wake up about, I always say two things. One is, what if you found $1,000 on the ground? Would you walk past it? Or would it be possibly the best day that you had in a while? And two, we know the numbers say that the majority of Americans do not have access to $1,000 of liquid cash inside of their savings account. The third lie fuels the entire get rich quick industry. The idea that passive income happens fast. You see the headlines, right? How I made $10,000 my first month with this one weird trick. It's a lie, plain and simple, designed to get you to buy a course. They prey on that desire for the overnight success story, but building real sustainable income just doesn't work that way. The reality is that building passive income is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time and a ton of practice. If you invest in dividend stocks, it can take years of reinvesting for the compound to really fire up and generate real money. If you were to start a business, we both recognize that you're probably not going to make any money in your business the first couple years that it's open. Even if you started something as simple as a YouTube channel, be creating content for months or even years before you build an audience big enough to make a dime. I know from my own journey that there was multiple times that I failed, not because my idea couldn't work, It was because I had an unreasonable expectation of how long it should take to work. So I stopped, and I stopped early. I stopped before I was able to achieve my goal. I have been able to remind myself over and over that the first idea is probably not going to work, that the money is not going to come right away, and that these people are actually lying to you to be able to get you to buy their course, because reality is they know that a lot of people are suffering, that a lot of people are trying to figure out how to stop the pain immediately. And when we're in our most desperate state is when we're most likely to be conned by one of these scam artists. I learned that real success comes from consistent effort over a long period of time. And in many ways, success is not measured by how much we made, it's measured by how much we grew, how consistent we were, how long our streak had become. Line number 4 is the trap of thinking that you just need to find that one magic income stream. You spend all of your time hunting for the perfect idea, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, crypto stacking, convinced that one home run will solve all of your money problems. This just leads to paralysis of analysis, where we end up doing nothing, or we just jump from one shiny object to the next without ever building anything real. There are lots of studies, and I've heard one where there was this study where they had these two classes. In one class, they told that their job was to make one amazing pot, and that would be their grade for the whole year. Then they spent all the time thinking and analyzing and visualizing how to make that one perfect pot. The other group, they said, your measurement is how many pots you make. It doesn't matter what the pot looks like, you're just going to make pots. And what you found at the end of the study is the group that just made a bunch of pots were able to have a better looking pot at the end because they got the reps in. You know, the group that just thought about and overanalyzed and made only one pot, and it was the absolute best pot that they could make, that it didn't compare to someone who had made hundreds of pots over the length of the class. And that in many ways, we almost have to tell ourselves the goal isn't for us to think or find out the one best way to do something. That the reality is the goal is to get ourselves to take the reps, to take the shots, to gain the wisdom by gaining the experience. And in many ways, when you think of the idea of making a bunch of pots versus one pot, it's sort of like the way I think of diversification. That's the not so secret way to build wealth. That most of us, we wouldn't really bet our life savings on one stock. So why would we bet your whole financial future on one income stream? All streams have risk. Rental properties have vacancies and surprise repairs. If you were to start your own business, you have the competition and need for constant marketing, right? Stocks are up and they're down with the market. By building multiple income streams, you create a safety net. Even when we think of earned income, where the goal is to get a promotion and to move up and to have more income, even that stream, as much as it can be, which it can be very significant, it doesn't change the fact that it's still us betting on one stream. And I think we've all recognized over the past few years that your job isn't as safe as it used to be. There's company mergers, there's companies disappear, there's people putting social media campaigns to cancel people for a variety of reasons, that there's so much uncertainty that just choosing one income stream in this world is difficult. It's difficult. And I like the idea of flexibility. I like the idea of having control and the empowering people to be able to take control of their life and live their dreams. The way that the Bible describes it is owing no man nothing but love. And you can really extrapolate that in so many ways in your life. And financial freedom is a part of that. Influence and, robbery and blackmail and prestige and all those other things, that all of this is a part of owing no man nothing but love. But we don't really think of it that way. But I think of it that way. And so when you think about the idea of having multiple streams of income, you're creating a safety net. That if one stream slows down or is completely canceled, you have others to back you up. The goal isn't to find the one perfect stream, but to build a portfolio of several good streams that protects you from a variety, and I literally mean it in the most literal sense of the word, a variety of economic conditions. By the way, if you're feeling this breakdown of lies and truths helpful, I go even deeper in my happily retired community. It's one actionable tip every single week on building real income streams and cutting through the hype. There's a link in the description if you want to join a community of people who are done with the lies and are ready to build something that lasts. This next one might be a teensy bit controversial, especially in the investing world, and it's the lie that dividends are the ultimate cheat code to getting rich. Influencers flash their six-figure dividend reports and make it seem that all you have to do is buy a few dividend aristocrat stocks and you're set for life. And look, dividends are amazing, but we're really oversimplifying things. The truth is, dividend investing is a long game of accumulation and compounding. The income from a small portfolio is tiny at first. If you have $10,000 invested with a 4% yield, that's only $4,000 a year. If you're not retiring on that, the real magic happens when you set up a dividend reinvestment plan or a DRIP where your dividends automatically buy more shares. This creates a snowball effect. Those new shares earn their own dividends, which then buy even more shares over 15, 20, or even 30 years, depending on how much you're investing. That compounding growth can be absolutely life changing, but it demands discipline. Just focusing on the payout and not reinvesting is like buying a Lamborghini and never filling it up with gas, or like buying a Maybach and not hiring a driver with it. Line number 6 is the seductive idea that you can just set it and forget it. This is the peak of the passive income dream. Do the work once, then walk away forever with a system that prints money on autopilot. While automation is a huge part of making income more passive, no income stream runs forever without any maintenance. Here's a reality check. Markets change, tenants leave, their competition never sleeps. That online course that you made 2 years ago, it needs to be updated to stay relevant. That rental property that you own, you have tenant turnover, broken applications, and surprise repair. Even passive stock portfolios need to be reviewed and rebalanced once in a while to make sure it's still on track with your goals. Forgetting about your income streams is the fastest way to watch them die. The goal isn't to do no work, it's to build systems that require less work over time. It's about building an engine that you check on and tune up, not one that you start and abandon. And finally, line number 7 is that passive income is a specific type of business like drop shipping or affiliate marketing. This is a total misunderstanding of what the word even means. And you'll find that people that are selling you something, they have confused everyone by branding their very attractive business as passive because it sounds way better. It gets more clicks. The truth is that passive isn't a job. It's a financial structure. It's all about separating your time from your money. The active income is trading your time from money. If you stop working, you stop getting paid. Passive income is when your assets make money for you. Those assets can be stock, real estate, or your own personal business. Being a freelance writer is an active income, but creating a system that automatically sells a writing course you made, that's building a passive income structure. This distinction is everything, right? We got to stop chasing hustles and start asking, how can I build or buy assets that generate cash flow without my consistent effort? That's the real path to freedom. That's the real path to a wealthy retirement. And that's the real path towards building a passive income. So let's recap the 7 lies. That it's 100% passive, that you need a ton of money, that it's fast, that you only need one magic pill, the dividends are the instant solution, that you can set it and forget it, and that it's one specific type of business. For years, believing these myths have kept me stuck jumping from one shiny object to the next shiny object and quitting many of them before the time was right. I was chasing a fantasy sold to me by people who cared more about my wallet than my success. The moment that I stopped looking for easy and started focusing on building a system that allowed me to provide so much value that people were very excited to pay me with their money was really when everything started changing for me. The reality is that passive income is not a scam, but the way it's sold and positioned, that is the scam. It's not about doing nothing. It's about putting the work in up front to build a future where you own your time. It's a get rewarded later plan, not the get rich quick scheme. And no, it's not easy, but it's absolutely worth it. If this video cleared things up for you, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm all about sharing the honest truth about building wealth. And check out our next video where I break down the 3 most beginner-friendly income streams that you can start this month. Thanks for watching, and keep in mind the goal is wisdom over worry. Until next time, stay safe and enjoy life.